There are many systems and factors that made the life of a trans Filipino the way it is. It's sad to say that, somehow, as a trans person, for you to find, your place in the world, it has to be a company that is not rooted in, or like started in the Philippine economy. It has to be an import outside, because we don't have the rights, the most basic rights. So let's have that conversation before people start just focusing on the stereotypes of conditions of a life as a trans person.
How do you think your life would have turned out kung naiwan ka sa Pilipinas?
I have to say, I can't imagine a life, just the most basic form of being able to access the job that would allow me to be who I am. I don't think this will not be possible in the Philippines, There would always be preconditions. There would always be a limit to who I could become.
Listening to you now, I'm smiling because I'm hearing the Geena Rocero activist side. You're using your platform to give focus on things that are still lacking and how we can do better as a society. But you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You're an accomplished person on your own. You're producer, filmmaker, writer, now a published author, you're a model. There's so many things going for you, but you're also choosing to fight.
Yeah.
Why is that?
For me, it's worth it in that sense because I owe so much of my formative years in my trans pageant family that have accepted me and loved me and gave me a life where I could envision bigger things in myself. I was in high school, 15-year-old, senior high school at College of St. Peter when my trans mother, Tiger Lily, saw me. And once I started joining pageants, it took me to a world that I never knew it was possible. And all the skill set that I've learned from joining pageants at 15, I took with me when I was modeling in New York City. So it's embedded in me to speak about my community, to speak about the people that have given so much, to me at a young age, that still influence so much of my being and who I am. So first and foremost, I'm an artist at heart. I am a storyteller first. I'm a director, writer, producer. As you said, I want to keep telling stories. But I think my big focus is honoring and centering stories of people that we don't usually get to hear. And I'm speaking about that from a trans Filipina point of view. I mean, I would love to see a trans Filipino point of view in a Marvel superhero. I want to see a trans Filipino point of view in a romantic comedy. There is so much to explore. I really honestly believe there's so much untapped potential in the perspective of a trans Filipina immigrant. And I'm saying here because it's a global perspective, the global diaspora of trans Filipinos all over the world that are living rich, vibrant, lives and dreaming about better things in their lives. I care about those things. I'd like to think that I never lost that sense of community, growing up in the Philippines, having lived half of my life in the Philippines to here. It's always about the community. It's always about my sister. Wherever I go, you put a bunch of trans Filipinos together, it's going to be hilarious. Up for be a good time, for sure.
I can imagine. I should be there. Invite me next time.
Yes, of course.
But what are they saying now to you about the book? What are they? They're celebrating with you.
What surprised people, yung mga naririnig ko, yung mga feedback from people about the book is how unapologetic it is. Unapologetic in the way I describe the fullness of my journey, from the heartbreaks to visions of love, of career ambitions, to sisterhood, all the emotional roller coaster of what I've gone through, but also the depth of the pursuit of my pre-colonial ancestors. You bring all of that together. I think what I'm hearing from people is that whether they're trans or not, but more so for my trans sisters, that I'm inspired to live fully, just like what you did in your book. Because I think that's what I'm about, is I want to share the fullness of what I've gone through, the ups and downs and all of those things, because that's what makes a full life, This book is my way to process what happened to me. More so what happened between when I was a fashion model in New York City for 8 years, living stealth, where my model agent did not know I was transgender. The fashion industry did not know I was transgender. It was my way to process what happened between living that stealth life to swinging the other side of unapologetic, proud.
All the way to the other
all
side.
the way to the other side. We're just like
Yes.
traveling the world, advocating for trans rights.
Yes.
What happened in between, and the process around that. But more so, as I'm looking into what happened in between, I'm also able to look back to really the beginning of my journey. So all in all, it was a healing journey for me to write those words, to have that discipline to write it for 2 years. And here it is now.
You finding your voice.
Yeah.
Because even when you were modeling,
Yeah.
it's just all looks. You
Yeah.
had a lot
Yeah.
in here
Yeah.
that you wanted to say, that you had to say, that should be heard.
Yeah.
But you weren't, because you were scared first and foremost to be found out.
Mm-hmm.
At what point na nahanap mo na yung boses mo na you said, tama na tong pagtatago, lalabas na ako, it's time to be true to myself and to share that truth?
There's many. I detailed in the book, there's so many little inklings of window of possibilities or window of hope in my journey. I mean, there's so many, but I think the one that really did it for me was I did a commercial for a big cosmetics. I did a lip gloss commercial for a big cosmetics campaign. And at the time, it should have been the pinnacle of success of a fashion model. And especially at the time, to get a cosmetic commercial or a job, a moment that should have been a celebration for me, where I saw myself on television and billboards, online, friends were sharing it to me. A moment that should have been having a champagne, bunch of friends gathering. I was at home freaking out, paranoid, waiting for my phone call to ring from a tabloid saying, Geena, we found out that you're a boy, and then my career would be over. Because that's what happened to every single transgender fashion model that came before me. I stand in their shoulders. They paved the way for me. But they also suffered because they were pioneers, and also the culture that didn't allow them to be who they are. So that's one moment. There's so many moments in the book. You should read the book.
What would you tell that 5-year-old, 6-year-old boy that had that first realization?
I'll tell that boy, have patience, keep going. Because there will be a lot of obstacles. Hopefully that femboy will find that belief within herself.
Message mo para dun sa mga nanonood na they still feel the need na magtago.
When we share the most intimate parts of who we are, it's very vulnerable. So we want to make sure that it's a safe environment for yourself and how you're surrounded by people that would support you in your journey in speaking your truth and sharing your truth.
You also had the freedom to express yourself because of the love of your family. Message mo sa mga unahin ko na yung mga kapatid mo. What would be your message?
Oh my God, you're gonna make me cry. When my sister gave me her first Barbie, this is my sister who, she knew I wanted a Barbie, and she was actually a little bit tomboyish, so we kind of switched at such a young age. So she just gave it to me, and without question. I think it's now that we're a little bit mature and we're grown-ups, the conversations that we're having, it's because it made you so happy when you're playing with your Barbie. Why would I take that away from you? Hopefully people find that joy when they give that joy to a young trans person, a young trans kid, or an LGBTQ person who just wants to express themselves. That's the joy that my sister gave me, my sisters gave me, my family gave me when they allowed me to be who I am.
And then message for your mom.
My mom is the hero of my life. She's always been, oh my God. My mom never once questioned my decision. She just supported me. I'm also a bunso. Maybe there's that too.
Your papa, who's no longer with us,
Yeah.
right?
I'd say, Pa, I'll always be your bujojoy. You know, he calls me that, and I miss his cooking. He's the best chef. So,
thank you for sharing with us, Geena. Na-touch ako kasi I think it's also a message for LGBTQ trans persons out there. Sometimes the acceptance that we should get from our parents, sometimes the parents have their own issues, they can't give it to us.
yeah.
But the siblings,
Yeah.
how important the siblings are too, right? In
But
the family
also
dynamics.
chosen family. In a world where that's not easily accessible, we need to find communities, chosen families that truly wants us to be ourselves. And I'm not speaking about like 50 people, 20 people. Like sometimes it takes one person. I had that one person, Tiger Lily, that saw me and that saw my possibility and like fully saw who I am at 15. And it led me to the next thing. And
Message for Tiger Lily.
thank you for allowing me to find magic in my life. I honored her in this book. The font title of the book, that's her writing. Yeah.
In this interview, we laughed, we cried, we talked about history, we unpacked colonialism, we unpacked Catholicism.
Yeah.
And that's what you guys are going to do and find yourself doing when you read the book, Horse Barbie by Geena Rocero. Go ahead, invite our viewers to get a copy. Where can they get a copy and all that?
Sure. I'm excited for y'all to check out and read Horse Barbie. It's been described as a saga of a life. It's available everywhere. But if you want to follow my journey, I update all of my activities on my Instagram, which is just my name, Geena Rocero. And I'll see you there. Horse Barbie.